The monsoon clouds rolled across the sky as young Arjun stood barefoot in the wet fields of Sarthapur, a small village tucked away in the heart of India. At 13, his mornings began with milking buffaloes and ended with chasing chickens out of the crops. Electricity was erratic. The nearest town with an internet cafe was 12 kilometers away, and his school had only one functional computer. Yet it was that very computer that changed his life. Arjun's father, Raghunath, a stern yet kind-hearted farmer, had toiled the land since he was a boy. He often said, "The soil teaches patience and pain, two things that make a man." But Arjun, curious and sharp-eyed, looked at the world differently. To him, the rustling of the wind through the fields was not just nature's whisper. It was a signal, a call to something more. One afternoon after school, Arjun lingered near the lone computer in his class. His teacher, Mr. Deshmukh, noticed his curiosity and handed him an old CD-ROM labeled Introduction to Computers. That CD ignited a flame. Arjun spent every spare minute in that classroom, learning how to navigate simple programs, type with clumsy fingers, and write his first line of code. He didn't understand it all, but he knew one thing: computers could build things out of nothing. His father, however, wasn't convinced. "You will inherit this land," Raghunath insisted. "Dreams don't fill stomachs." Arjun respected his father, but his dreams weren't of grain silos or monsoon harvests. He wanted to build, not with brick and mortar, but with logic and code. At 17, after much persuasion and with the help of a small village scholarship, Arjun left for Delhi to study computer science. He arrived with a single bag, a tattered book of JavaScript, and a head full of wild ideas. Delhi was a whirlwind: honking horns, neon lights, crowded metros, and the strange loneliness of being unknown in a sea of faces. Arjun struggled with English, social norms, and financial constraints. He took night shifts at call centers, washed dishes in a hostel kitchen, and slept in libraries. But through it all, he coded. He built small applications, websites for NGOs, and tools for local vendors. His work caught the eye of Dr. Mehra, a visiting professor who offered him an internship in Bangalore with a mid-sized software firm. That internship became a full-time job. While his peers climbed corporate ladders, Arjun took a risk. At 24, he left his stable job, withdrew all his savings, and rented a one-room flat in Whitefield, Bangalore. There he founded KrantiTech, a name inspired by the Hindi word for revolution. The idea: to create affordable, AI-powered tools for small-scale businesses in rural India. His first product, Kranti POS, was a mobile-based point-of-sale system for small shops with minimal internet access. Built on lightweight code and operable in local languages, it was a hit among rural vendors. But success didn't come easy. Arjun faced power outages, investor rejections, and even betrayal from an early co-founder who stole their prototype. Still, he persevered. A feature story in a local business journal changed everything. Arjun was invited to pitch at the India Tech Rising Summit in Mumbai. Nervous but prepared, he stood on the stage, his voice cracking, hands shaking, as he told the story of Sarthapur, his father's disbelief, and the dusty school computer that sparked a revolution. Investors were moved. One angel investor, Reena Malhotra, saw the fire in his eyes and offered seed funding. With her mentorship, KrantiTech grew. They expanded their product line: AI inventory managers, agricultural analytics tools, vernacular accounting apps, all aimed at empowering the underdogs. Within 5 years, KrantiTech scaled across South Asia and Africa. They set up rural innovation hubs, employed thousands, and trained young coders from villages just like Sarthapur. Arjun became a keynote speaker at global tech forums, his story lauded as a beacon of possibility. But he never forgot his roots. Each year he returned to Sarthapur, now transformed with internet towers, solar panels, and a KrantiTech Innovation Center. He built a new school, named after his teacher, Mr. Deshmukh, with a computer lab 100 times larger than the one that started it all. With growth came challenges. KrantiTech systems were targeted in a cyber attack from a foreign competitor. Their AI inventory tool misfired during the monsoon season, causing losses to hundreds of vendors. Critics accused Arjun of expanding too fast and abandoning quality. He retreated for weeks, consulting with his top engineers, analyzing failures, and revisiting the very values he began with. He took accountability publicly and introduced a farmer-led advisory board for product feedback. The move was hailed as revolutionary. Back in Sarthapur, Raghunath watched his sons rise from afar. He saw villagers benefit from KrantiTech apps, observed students lining up outside the tech center, and even started using a Kranti Post device himself. One evening, under the banyan tree where he once warned Arjun against dreaming, Raghunath said, "The soil teaches patience. Yes, but my son taught me to dream." Arjun embraced his father, a moment they both had waited years for. KrantiTech entered global partnerships. Their rural tech framework was adopted in sub-Saharan Africa, and Arjun was invited to speak at MIT and Stanford. Media dubbed him the Rural Coder, and Time magazine listed him in the top 100 influential technologists. Despite the fame, Arjun remained grounded. He set up the Kranti Fellowship to sponsor rural innovators and launched a free learning app called Code Gaon. Years later, as Arjun sat in his Bangalore HQ, a glass tower adorned with murals of village life, he reflected on his journey. A letter lay on his desk from a boy in Rajasthan who had built a mobile app for water conservation using Code Gaon. Arjun smiled. He knew that success wasn't just about money or scale. It was about impact, continuity, and making the world slightly better than you found it. He turned to his team and said, "Let's go back to the field tomorrow." The next innovation might still be hiding in a village,